Intro music fades. The bright lights of the View studio shine over the crowd. Joy Behar sits center stage, her trademark grin in full effect. The audience claps as she leans toward the camera. "All right, everybody, today's guest is a man who needs no introduction," Joy says with a laugh. Country superstar, TV favorite, and husband to the one and only Gwen Stefani, Blake Shelton. The audience cheers. Blake waves politely, smiling but a bit reserved. He sits back in his chair, hands clasped. Joy keeps the energy light at first, joking about his tour and his time on The Voice, but then her tone shifts. "Now, Blake," she says, eyebrow raised, "country singers, you guys are always finding yourselves in the middle of some political storm. Doesn't that ever get exhausting?" The laughter in the room softens. Blake's smile tightens. "Joy," he says carefully, "I came here to talk about music, not politics." Joy tilts her head, smirking. "Oh, come on, you can't separate the two anymore. Your fans have opinions. You don't mind a little controversy, right?" Blake's expression hardens. The air grows heavy. The crowd senses it. Slowly, he leans toward the mic and says in a low, steady voice, "You really want to go there, Joy?" The camera zooms in. The audience gasps. Joy blinks, caught off guard. The studio falls silent, every eye locked on Blake Shelton. The studio air felt like static, charged, tense, and unpredictable. Joy forced a laugh, glancing at the producers off stage. "Relax, Blake," she said, waving a hand. "We're just having a conversation here." But Blake didn't laugh. "Yeah," he said, his voice steady but sharp, "a conversation. The kind where you talk down to people who don't agree with you?" The crowd murmured. One of the co-hosts jumped in, trying to calm things down. "Let's keep it light, guys," she said quickly. But Joy wasn't backing off. "Oh, don't play the victim," she fired back. "You country stars love to dish it out but can't take a little heat." Blake leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You call it heat," he said slowly. "I call it disrespect. Folks where I come from, they work hard, they care about family, and they don't deserve to be mocked on national TV." The audience shifted in their seats. Joy crossed her arms. "So now you're saying I'm mocking your fans?" "You said it, not me," Blake shot back. The studio went still. Joy tried to interrupt, but Blake's voice rose. "You want to talk about hypocrisy, Joy? Let's talk about who's really dividing this country." The crowd gasped. Joy started to respond, but before she could finish her sentence, Blake stood up, mic still hot, eyes blazing. The producers froze. Cameras kept rolling. The room erupted in confusion, co-hosts whispering, producers signaling from behind the cameras, the live audience caught between shock and awe. Blake Shelton stood tall, his chair pushed back, his voice steady but filled with fire. "You know what?" he began, his Oklahoma drawl cutting through the noise. "I've sat on this couch before, smiled, played nice, but I'm done pretending." Joy Behar tried to interject, but he held up a hand. "No, let me finish. You talk about tolerance, about understanding people, but you only mean the ones who think like you. Out where I'm from, we don't have studios and sponsors. We've got dirt, sweat, and bills, and we're tired of being talked down to like we don't matter." The crowd murmured. Some clapped, others booed. One co-host whispered, "We're live, Blake," but he didn't stop. "I love this country," he continued, his voice rising. "I love the people who built it, but I'm sick of seeing them mocked on shows like this. They're not ignorant, they're proud, and they deserve respect." For a moment, silence. Then a single cheer broke out. The camera panned across stunned faces, and Joy sat frozen, lips parted but speechless. Then, the screen flickered, cutting abruptly to commercial. Gasps echoed through the studio. Viewers at home were left with one burning question. What did the network just cut out? The next morning, the clip had gone viral. Every news outlet, every talk show, every social feed, all replaying the same 20 seconds. Blake Shelton standing on the View set, voice shaking with conviction before the feed suddenly cut out. Cable news anchors argued over whether he was a hero or a hothead. Hashtags like #Blake vs Joy and #The View Meltdown dominated trending lists. Some called it the moment TV finally got real. Others said it was an outburst that crossed the line. Joy Behar addressed it on the next day's show, sitting a little stiffer than usual. "Look," she began, "we have spirited debates here, but we don't shout people down. I wish things hadn't gone that way." Her smile was practiced, but her eyes betrayed tension. Meanwhile, Blake stayed silent. No interviews. No statements. Just one cryptic post on his social media. Sometimes the truth doesn't fit the script. Rumors swirled. Did the network censor him? Was a part of his speech cut before broadcast? Then, days later, a new interview surfaced online. Dim lighting. Blake sitting alone, no makeup, no PR team. A quiet, serious tone. The interviewer leaned forward. "Blake, after all this, if you could say one last thing to Joy Behar, what would it be?" Blake looked down for a long moment, his hands clasped. He took a breath. "Honestly," he began softly. The camera cut to black. The camera faded back in. A dimly lit room, rustic and quiet. Blake Shelton sat in a simple chair, no stage, no applause, just raw honesty. His eyes looked tired but calm. "Honestly," he continued, "I'd tell Joy. It was never about me versus her. It was about what this country's become. We don't listen anymore. We just wait for our turn to shout." He paused, glancing off camera, collecting his thoughts. "I didn't raise my voice because I hate her. I did it because I love where I come from. And I'm tired of seeing good people mocked for not fitting the Hollywood mold." The interviewer leaned in. "What really happened during that commercial break, Blake?" He hesitated. "They cut my mic," he said quietly. "I tried to say that America's not red or blue. It's real people trying to get by. But they didn't want that message aired. It wasn't angry enough. It wasn't divisive enough. It was too human." He leaned forward, eyes sharp now. "They didn't want you to hear this part, but you deserve to." The screen faded to black. A single line of text appeared. "Truth doesn't shout. It stands," a long pause. Then the outro music swelled, and haunting. Cinematic, unresolved. Viewers sat frozen, replaying the moment, unsure if it was the end or the beginning of something bigger. If that moment hit you as hard as it hit us, don't just scroll away. This conversation is bigger than Blake Shelton, bigger than Joy Behar. It's about truth, freedom, and the courage to speak when it's easier to stay silent. What we just watched wasn't a celebrity meltdown. It was a mirror held up to America. So here's the question. Where do you stand? Do you believe the networks were right to cut that moment off? Or do you think the public deserves to hear every word, unfiltered and raw? Drop your thoughts in the comments right now. Tell us what you saw. Passion or provocation, truth or chaos. Your voice matters here more than anywhere else. Because this channel is about cutting through the noise and showing you the parts they don't want you to. See, if you believe in real conversations, the kind that shake the room and make people think, then hit that like button. Smash subscribe so you never miss a moment the mainstream won't air, because here, we don't spin stories, we reveal them. Stay tuned. The truth isn't over. It's just getting started.